Hey, this is our first attempt at a video practice. So there's a couple things to keep in mind. Please just honor yourself, honor your body, do what feels most comfortable. I don't know what you know and what you don't know. So I'm going to offer the most basic offerings. I'll break things down really simply. If you already know some of this stuff, which I'm sure you do with some of the physical therapy and exercising that you do, then I apologize. Just let me know, hey, I know that crap. You don't need to say it again. But I'll try and, I don't know, I guess just make things the most accessible. And then when we talk about it or when we go over this together, we can sort of build from that. But I'll give you a baseline today. There's a couple things that you might want to have nearby if you have them. If you don't, it's totally cool. I happen to steal these from my studio, so I'm cheating a little bit. But if you have a couple blocks handy, you can use blocks. If not, I actually have a chair over there. You can use a chair too, and you'll see why when we get there. The other thing you might want to have nearby is a blanket. Depending on the kind of floor you're sitting on or resting on, it may be uncomfortable for your knees or your hands or whatever. So those are just a couple things you might want to have handy. So today's practice will be about half an hour, give or take. Probably a little longer just because I tend to be long-winded with this stuff. But we're going to work on fluidity. Running as fluid as it can be tends to be very staccato. And so I want to break some of that up a little bit with just some movement. We'll do some side-to-side stuff, and we'll do some forward and back stuff. Again, please just honor your body. All of these can be adapted, so if there's a part of this that just doesn't work for you, just let me know, and I'll send you some adaptations or some variations to stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is find a comfortable seated position. So if you are seated, I don't know how well you can see this, but if you're seated and your knees are up kind of high, I'll turn to the side. If your knees are up kind of high and you find that your low back is rounded a bit, you can use that blanket to sit onto, and that will help tilt your pelvis forward. The other thing you can do is you can sit on a block, which will help lift you up even higher, and it brings your knees down below your hips. It's a lot less pressure on your low back, a lot less pressure on your core body trying to hold everything in place. So just play with that and see what works best. But I sit those aside. And if sitting, cross-legged I'm sure is fine, but if it's not fine, you can always reach your legs out to the side, or out in front also. So just bring your hands sort of into your lap, wherever it's most comfortable. Allow your gaze to soften. Draw in a nice big full inhale, and then exhale, side away. So we're just going to use these first few moments to settle in. Maybe notice any sounds you may observe, any sounds you may sort of notice in the moment. Gradually draw your attention into the rhythm of your breath. And as you draw your attention into your breath, maybe with the next breath cycle or two, just observe your body from head to toe. Recognize those places that feel good, and recognize those places that you may need to honor. And as you draw your attention back to the rhythm of your breath, gently place your hands on your belly. Maybe just allow your middle fingers to touch right about where your belly button may be. Allow your breath to fill your entire belly space from front to back and side to side. So your breath fills and expands your entire belly bowl. And then exhale, soften into your belly, soften underneath your hands. With the next couple of breaths, allow each inhale to radiate even more completely into your entire body. Allow each exhale just to soften into any edges, into any gripping or spaces that may be holding on. Allow your breath to breathe you. The word yoga means union. So our practice is just this mindful awareness of breath, body, maybe spirit or emotional space. As we move through our practice, I invite you to just come back to that awareness. Notice how your breath feels in your body and how your body may move with your breath. Bring your hands together at your heart. From the space around your hands and heart, come into a place that feels a little something like gratitude. And from this place of gratitude, bring to mind one thing that you are grateful for today. And we'll just hold this gratitude in our heart as we move through our practice. So gently, if your legs are crossed, go ahead and switch the cross on your legs. Bring your hands by your sides, allow your shoulders to soften. And I'm going to mirror you for the duration of our practice. So as you inhale, sweep your right arm up and gently hinge over to the left. And inhale, reach your left arm up and hinge over to the right. We're starting with this fluid motion through our spine. And just move with your breaths. We're connecting breath and movement here. Do one more on each side. And next time you find center, reach both arms to the sky and twist to the right. Just let your hands touch down where they will. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky and twist over to the left. And just a couple more just like that. Inhale, arms up. Twist to the right. And inhale, arms up. Twist to the left. One more on each side. Inhale, reach both arms up. And just bring your hands together at your heart. And we'll shift to one side and come into hands and knees. So allowing your knees to check in right underneath your hips. And your wrists right underneath your shoulders. And press evenly into all the fingertips. So all 10 fingertips should press into the mat. And also pressing into the palm, the four corners of your palm. So the base of your index finger, right at the base of your thumb, base of your pinky finger, and then straight down through your wrist. So all those points are touching down on the floor. As you inhale, soften your belly, draw your heart and gaze forward. And exhale, round your spine to the sky. Inhale, soften your belly. Allow your movement to be drawn out just as long as your breath. And when you've reached the end of your breath, exhale, round your spine to the sky. And again, allow your movement to be just as long as your breath. Just a couple more. And we'll do one more with your breath. When you find center, draw your toes together, widen your knees as much as is comfortable, sit your hips back, and allow your upper body to rest on the mat. Just another breath or so here. Almost imagine your breath filling up your backside, so allow your breath to fill your low back, your ribs up into your shoulders so that you can completely soften onto the mat underneath you. On your inhale, lift your gaze between your thumbs. Shift forward into a supported plank pose. So just allow your shoulders over your wrists, nice big full breath. Exhale, lower down. Keep your elbows nice and close to your body. Press into your feet and gently press into your hands. Lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. And from your belly, lift your hips up and back into that child's pose position. And we'll move through a couple more just like that, working with our fluid breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your heart. Let your shoulders slide down your back. Exhale, lower. And press into your hands. Bring your hips back. Child's pose. Do that one more time with your breath. On your inhale, come on to your knees. So this may be where you want your blanket. You can place a blanket underneath your knees depending on your floor. It's up to you completely. And if you have blocks or any sort of supports, this may be where you want them as well. And I'll show you why. So we're going to step our right foot forward. Just make sure can't really see it, but just make sure your knee stays over your ankle and that it doesn't move forward. And if you have any sort of supports, just bring your hands to them and allow your shoulders to soften down your back. If you're reaching to the floor, we tend to hunch forward and our shoulders tend to round forward. In this case, I want your shoulders sort of tucked onto your back with your heart forward. You can always bring your hands to your knee here also. The idea is to soften into your hip flexor. So here we're softening into our left hip. Nice big full breath. Press into your feet. Firm your inner thighs together so your legs come together and like you're going to put a wrinkle on your mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And exhale, shift your hips back so your leg lengthens in front of you. We'll just breathe here for a moment. Again, leaving your shoulders soft. We're not rounding forward, but everything's nice and long. And inhale, sweep your arms forward. Now we'll bring some more fluidity to this movement. Exhale, shift your hips back. Keep them nice and steady. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, back. One more time. and back to center, and switch sides. So scoot your right foot back, left foot forward. Soften into your right hip flexor here. And again, just make sure your front knee tracks over your ankle. Allow your shoulders to be soft, either hands on blocks or they can be on your knee. Just a big full belly breath here. Firm up your hips, press into your feet. Draw your inner thighs together. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. And exhale, reach your hands back, reach your hips back. And inhale, sweep everything up. And exhale, release. And back. A couple more just like that. And last one. And hands to your blocks. Step one foot forward and then the other. Bend your knees. Inhale, arms all the way to the sky. Just bring your hands together at your heart. My head's cut off a little bit, but you get the idea. So step your feet out nice and wide. Still holding on to this idea of fluidity. Turn your right toes out. Inhale. So still breathe. Your alignment here, your front heel can either be in line with your back foot, like your instep, or it can be heel to heel alignment. It's up to you, what feels best. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Exhale, bend your right knee, arms to shoulder height. Just want to make sure your front knee is over your ankle and that you can see your toes. Inhale, stretch your leg, reach your arms up. And exhale, bend. One more just like that. And this time, reach through your right hand, sweep your arm to the sky. Nice big full breath here. And exhale, release. Stretch your right leg, lower your hands. And then switch your feet. So turn your left toes out. Right foot is either parallel to the short edge or maybe it's turned in a little bit. It's up to you. Press evenly into both feet. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Exhale, bend your left foot, arms to shoulder height. And just make sure you can see your toes. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. And exhale, bend. One more time. And reach through your fingertips. Sweep your left arm to the sky. Big full breath. And exhale, release. Stretch, lower your hands. One more time, switch your feet. Turn your right toes out, left toes in. Press into both feet. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. And exhale, bend your right knee, arms to shoulder height. Warrior two. I forgot to say the names of all these poses. So this is Warrior two pose. Looking out over your right fingertips. Stretch your right leg, so make your right leg nice and long. Reach through your fingertips, so find length in your right side, like you're reaching along the countertop. Lower your right arm down, left arm to the sky. Triangle pose. Your gaze can be down at your toes, or your fingers, or up at your fingers. It's up to you. Press into your feet, inhale back to center. Lower your hands one more time, switch your feet. Turn your left toes out, right toes parallel or parallel to the short edge of the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. And exhale, bend your left knee, arms to shoulder height. And just breathe. And on your next inhale, stretch your left leg so it's nice and long. Press into your feet. Reach through your left fingertips. Find length in your left side. Lower your left arm down, right arm to the sky. One side always cooperates a little better than the other, so just honor those differences. And press into your feet. Inhale back to center. Release your hands. Turn your feet out at about a 45-degree angle or so. One more time, inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. This time, exhale, bend your knees and elbows. So make sure your knees are tracking over your toes and they're not reaching forward, but you're using your outer hips, like your outer glute muscles, to open up your hips. Inhale, reach everything out. And exhale, release. Inhale, reach. And release. Bring your hands to your knees. Nice big full inhale. Find length in your spine. And as you exhale, drop your right shoulder to the center. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And drop your left shoulder to the center. One more time on each side. Find center, lengthen, and exhale, press into your feet. Come all the way to center. Turn your feet so that they are parallel with each other. Your hands can be at your hips, or you can clasp them behind you, either your hands or hook your thumbs, it's up to you. Wherever you happen to be, press evenly into both feet. Don't let your weight sit back in your hips, or your heels rather. Nice big inhale, wrap your upper arms back, open your heart to the sky, and as you exhale, hinge forward. So again, this may be where you want your block or your chair. I'm going to turn to the side a little bit. So what we want to be mindful here is of our low back. Oftentimes we tend to sit in our heels. So that's why you want to make sure your weight is even between both feet. And if you have tight hamstrings, then this may be where your back is. So if that's the case, allow your knees to bend so that your hips can go behind you, and that will take some of the pressure off of your hamstrings, but it also brings your low back into that brings it into anatomical neutral. So it's up to you. Play with it and see what works and feels better. If your hands don't quite touch the ground, this is where you can use your block or even a chair. It's up to you. And you might find you don't even need any of it, and that's okay too. And just use a breath here. You can bring some movement, maybe rock your hips from side to side, maybe bend one knee at a time. As long as you're breathing, that's all that matters. Just another breath or so here. And bend your knees. Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way back. Step your feet together. And we'll actually come to the top of our mat. Or the top of your space, wherever you happen to be. So mountain pose or Tadasana is, I think like position of attention, right? Your feet, I'll just face you for a minute. Your feet are going to be underneath your hips, and your hips are under your shoulders. So your feet aren't exactly together, but they're about hips width apart. On your inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees. And just fold forward so that your hands touch down on the mat. With a couple steps, walk your feet back so that your hips go up and back and you're in downward facing dog. So again, you may find that your knees need to bend a little bit here so that your hips can go up and back behind you. If you can straighten your legs, awesome, go for it, but they don't have to go there. And just pause for a breath or two here. One more nice big full breath. As you exhale, bring your knees to the mats. Sit your hips back and swing your legs around to the front. Just bring your feet about hips width apart or so. And just rock your knees from side to side. I like to flex my feet here so my knees are in line with my toes. That feels better for me, but again, just honor you and what feels best. And when you feel complete on both sides, we'll come all the way onto our back. Reach your arms out nice and long. Reach your arms out nice and long, legs out nice and long, nice big full breath in. As you exhale, hug your right knee into your chest and flex both feet as if you're going to step onto both feet, but your feet are flexed. Soften your belly, soften your ribs and shoulders, and just allow the weight of your hands to hug your knee in. One more nice big full breath here. As you inhale, reach your arms overhead, reach your right leg out nice and long. And exhale, hug your left knee in. And again, flex through both feet. Breathe into your belly, soften your ribs and shoulders. And on your next breath, inhale, reach both arms up, both legs out. And this time, hug both knees into your chest. Reach your left arm out to the side. With your right hand, as you exhale, lower your knees to the right. So there's a myriad of ways you can do this side twist. So adjust your legs and feet so that it's most comfortable for you. And then when you get there, when you find that comfortable space, just breathe. Soften into any gripping, any tension or edges, and just breathe. Notice what you notice. Notice what you don't notice. On your inhale, back to center. Nice big full breath. Reach your right arm out to the side. And with your left hand, as you exhale, lower everything to the left. Again, shift or adjust as you need to. And this side is going to feel a little different than the other, so honor that and just breathe. And inhale, back to center. With the next couple of breaths, just move in any way that feels best. So there's really no right or wrong way to move here. You're just finding completion to your practice. And when you feel like your practice is as complete as it's going to be, settle into your relaxation form. So my low back tends to be pretty tender, so I like to have my knees resting against one another. You can also take a block or blanket and tuck it underneath your knees so that they're elevated a little. You can always lie down flat on your back or any other variation that you find the most comfort in. And then when you get there, just breathe. We call this Shavasana, relaxation pose, or resting pose, or any other napping pose, whatever resonates with you. It's all been said. And honestly, this is the most important pose of our practice. But in the essence of recording and our time, we won't stay here for too long. But when you do this on your own, please stay as long as you'd like. I would say even 5 to 10 minutes of relaxation. Give your mind a chance to just be, however it is. You're not trying to do anything. You're just here. Nowhere to be, nothing to do. And again, in the essence of time, feel free to stay as long as you'd like. Whenever you are ready with the next couple of breaths, I invite you just to check in with your body from head to toe. And gradually allow your breath to deepen. As your breath deepens, bring movement into your fingers and toes. Rock your head from side to side. On your inhale, reach your arms overhead. Lengthen from fingertips to toes. Maybe let go of a sigh or a yawn. And exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Roll to one side and pause. Hold gratitude in your heart for your body as perfect as it is, and for this time that you have given yourself today. And with the next breath or two, gently come into a comfortable seated position. Again, whatever seated position works best. I like to finish with my opposite leg crossed in front, sort of bringing my practice complete circle. Allow your hands to come into whatever position works best. If your palms face the sky, that is said to be a position of reception. If they're facing down, that is a position of groundedness. Allow your gaze to soften. With the next couple of breaths, just notice how your yoga practice resonates in your body. Observe from a place of compassion, from a place of witness and non-harming. Float your hands to your heart. Lower your chin, draw your gaze inward. Come into a place that feels a little something like gratitude. And from that place of gratitude, bring to mind one more thing that you are grateful for today. On your inhale, sweep your arms overhead, palms together. Honor yourself, those around you, and your yoga practice. Exhale, hands to your forehead, that your thoughts may bring peace to yourself and those around you. To your lips, that your words may bring peace to yourself and those around you. And to your heart, that your actions may bring peace to yourself and those around you. So we always finish by saying Namaste, which means the light, the divine, and the energy in me sees and honors the light, the divine, and the energy in you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.